Congratulations on another season of My Big Fat Fabulous Life.
Thank you.
It's been over 10 years since the series first premiered. So how wild is that to you?
It's really wild. Yeah, I almost don't remember life before reality TV, which is weird. My producer, like season one, I remember he said to me, we might get 6 seasons out of this. And I thought, no way. And here we are. This is season 13, more than a decade in. And it just feels like normal life, though. If it never ends, I guess that would be okay.
So this is how I feel. We take a girls trip. Hell yeah. My coochie better come out.
How much would you say your life and the show has evolved since you first began filming it a decade ago?
Well, I think there are some things that have always been part of my Big Fat Fabulous life and are kind of the foundation of the series, which are things I'm really proud about. I would say the positivity and like the relatability that it brings to people, and the love that people can see, like with my friends and my family. I just feel so privileged to be able to put that in people's living rooms all over the world. I think people need a little more laughter in life and a little love in life. And if they can get that from my Big Fat Fabulous life, then I feel like just really, really satisfied in what I've done in my career, and that feels great. When I look back at earlier seasons, I guess it's always like this. You're like, oh my God, was I wearing that? Did I look like that? I just really feel that I've gotten better with age, just in all respects. And, not everybody can say that. So I feel very lucky.
Oh my God, Dad, my first Halloween costume. Since I turned 40, it's really got me thinking about the bigger things that I want in my life. I'm going to pursue artificial insemination.
I was shocked to even find out that artificial insemination is as common as it is, because I had not known anyone who had done it or admitted that they'd done it ever in my entire life. So to hear all these stories from people who can relate to it and all their encouragement and all that's been really exciting. But there is also, it always reminds me, there's so much judgment really just towards women for living, existing, breathing, being mothers, not being mothers, how they're going to be mothers. And it's really disappointing, but I am glad to be able to share this journey publicly for women who maybe have felt a lot of shame around their life or their infertility or things like that. I think my Big Fat Fabulous life has always been a way for people to kind of see themselves reflected on television in ways that they haven't historically been. So in that way, I just feel really grateful and happy to share the journey.
What ultimately went into that decision to go the route of artificial insemination? Because like you said, it doesn't seem as common as it actually is.
I mean, everyone has asked me that, especially because I've been thinking about motherhood for so long, and I've had my eggs frozen, and I've looked into adoption, and I've certainly tried the old-fashioned way 1 or 2 times. So everyone's like, what made you like do this? And I really don't know if there's like a single moment, but I think really though my age, just my biological clock, I know this is kind of like a self-imposed deadline of like 40, but I was like, well, let me just do this on my own, this really kind of liberating feeling of, yeah, I would rather have a partner. I would rather do this naturally. I would rather be able to get pregnant easily, all that kind of stuff. But if it's not happening, let me just do it on my own. It's been really empowering. And yeah, I think it's just literally like the time that kind of pushed me into realizing like, girl, you have more power in this than you think you do.
I mean, what a community you're able to kind of ignite around the world.
Yeah, I love that. That's my favorite part of doing reality TV, because there are lots of really difficult parts, of this job. And if it weren't for that feeling of community and that feeling of thinking that I'm making a positive impact on people and kind of this two-way reciprocal, relationship, I definitely would not still be doing reality TV. So I feel very privileged to have that connection.
You do talk a bit this season about how expensive the entire process is. So can you give us some insight into how much it actually costs to go through with this?
Okay, it just kills you though. Like when you can get something for free, you know what I mean? And then you gotta pay.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's so many times I was like, let me just go down to the corner and pop into the bar. But then I thought, no, because it was so hard to pick like somebody, like there was nobody in real life I'm willing to pick. And I didn't want another person involved unless they were like my partner. So I'm like, I have to go this route. I mean, it's thousands and thousands of dollars, for sure. And depending on how many vials of sperm you buy, and how many rounds it takes and all that kind of stuff. But I've already been through the beginnings of, I didn't actually do IVF, but, I froze my eggs. So I did the beginning process of that. And that was, exorbitantly expensive as well.
Right.
So I will say I've talked to my friends in other countries about it, and it does kill me to know how affordable it is in other countries versus here. And you really just, it's just like when you buy something and then it goes on sale, and you're like, oh God, I can't believe I spent all that money and then this just went on sale. And then I'm like, yeah, like all that sperm that I have had in life for free. And then I end up having to pay all this money. It's hard to stomach, it really is, but you got to do what you got to do for what you want,
How many books does he doesn't read? Oh my God. I have never been more discouraged in my life.
I did inseminate once on my own, and then I did IUI, which is at the doctor's office. They put it directly into your uterus. So I did both of them. I won't give any spoilers like on how things have ended up, but I will say that picking the donor, I didn't. I literally let my friend Isaiah pick it. I narrowed down to 3 people, and I said pick it, because it was like, I can't even pick people on a dating app. How am I going to pick people to be the father of my child? And nobody was good enough. And then I'm like, oh, that's fine, until they say something. They have some Q&As on there, and I want to say, just like, take that part away. Just give me the stats, because once I'm reading these people's Q&As, I'm like, no, this is not, no, I didn't like that answer. No, you can't spell that right. I'm very, I don't know, is that picky? I don't know. It's my baby.
Yeah.
So it was so much harder than even like being on a dating app. It was so nerve-wracking. I hated the process. But luckily I haven't had to pick a donor in a while. And I will say that the journey is ongoing and going in a direction that I'm very pleased with. But that's all I can say without giving a big spoiler.
Okay, so we will see it play out this season.
Yes.
Okay.
And beyond.
And I gotta say, people on social media have been going crazy trying to figure out if you're pregnant yet.
They're so funny. Well, and I say, like, people really think they can, like, I don't know, tell all this stuff just from like an Instagram post, and I'm just like, no, you can't. Like, oh, I guess she's not pregnant, she's traveling, or like, oh, like she doesn't look pregnant. And I'm also like, do you know how big my stomach is? Like, do you know how, like, anyway, that's all I'll say. I just want to remind people, things are not always as they seem. A look on my Instagram will not tell you where I'm living, if I'm in a relationship, or if I'm pregnant. So yeah.
What was in your criteria for a perfect donor? Which is really hard to find, but
yeah, no, I mean, educated, I would say, obviously no genetic abnormalities. I have enough of those on my own. I wanted someone educated, and I wanted someone, really the only physical requirement I had was like over 5'7", just because I'm very short. I'm 5'2", so I thought, well, let's give them a chance to be more average or tall. But I accepted any race, any hair color, any eye color. None of that was important to me, I don't think being a mother is really about any of that. So mostly I was looking for internal things, like someone who, for example, knew a lot of languages, somebody who had, a lot of degrees and all that kind of stuff.
What's your word to the wise to other women who are about to enter this experience?
That they are not alone, and that so many women have done this, and there's nothing to be ashamed about.
How you not even noticed that I've lost 40 pounds?
You've been sitting down.
Have you seriously not noticed? I haven't crossed my legs in how many years?
Fans originally started following you for your weight loss journey, but now you're kind of at a point where you've said, I'm more focused on, my confidence and where I'm at in life versus just my weight.
From when the show started, people always are on about my weight, and it drives me crazy, just because for the mere fact of, I would say, depending on what picture I post, one day people are saying, oh my God, you've gained 100 pounds. And then the next time people are like, why haven't you been open about your weight loss surgery? And it's just exhausting, to like have people on and on and on and hyper focusing on your body all the time. Since the show aired, I've lost about 120 pounds. The thing that's frustrating is, especially with, I think, a lot of the injectables and things like that now, people suddenly think that I'm so much smaller, and they're like, you're not being open, and why aren't you talking to us about what you're doing? And the truth is, I've only lost about 20 pounds in the last 2 years. I lost a big chunks of weight prior to that, people didn't notice, or they didn't want to notice, or I don't know, people see what they want to see, so it is frustrating to have people constantly telling me like, you like, they think, you just lost 100 pounds in like 6 months, like, why aren't you being, and I'm like, oh my God. Or people arguing with you about it as though I don't know, like, my own body, my own weight. I weigh myself every day. Actually, I can tell you exactly what I weighed at almost any point in my life. So I have lost a significant amount of weight. It's not the first time I've lost 100 pounds in life either, which people don't know because we weren't filming the show then. I feel good. It wouldn't make sense for me to be focusing on losing more weight or anything right now at this actual point in my life.
Whitney! Wait a minute. What does that mean? That's a line! My life could be turned upside down in a matter of moments. I'm scared.
You mentioned at one point in this season already that you're single, you're not pregnant yet, and you're not happy with where you are in life. But you mentioned earlier in this interview that you do feel very happy right now. So what's your update in that regard?
So if you're asking like, A, am I pregnant? B, have I moved? I would say the answer could possibly be C, all of the above. We don't know, right? I would love to share more, but I cannot. So do with that what you will. Now, if you're familiar with my like social media at all, you would know I am in my closet in Greensboro, but I would not let that lead you to any conclusions. I just got back from London the day before yesterday, and I haven't sold my house, but yeah, I'll say I'm not living here permanently. I've always loved to travel. I've done a lot of traveling, and a lot of people don't know. I mean, they picked up in the series when I was like 30 years old and had just moved back home with my parents. But, I spent most of my 20s living abroad in Korea, and I lived in Ireland. And, this is just kind of like very normal for me. Like, it's not the norm for me to be in one place for a really long period of time. And I think I just, have the itch. And, and Glenn Thore, God bless him, because I came home from London and came straight to this house to see him, and he's at the beach and didn't even tell me. And then I'm getting pictures of him and my brother and his girlfriend and everybody at the beach just having a good old time. And I said, oh, okay, well.
Like, good to see you too. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Exactly. So, but I'm hanging out here for a few days. So, yeah.
I mean, I kind of think fans would love to see My Big Fat Fabulous Life abroad.
Oh my God, duh. I mean,
let's see more of London.
I would love that as well. This season isn't even, halfway done, of course. And then, we don't know. You never know if you'll get another season or not. But I do think that a season 14 would there'd be a lot of new characters. I'll say that, of varying ages. Yeah. So I do hope it continues, because I kind of feel like I've finally made, some big changes in life that would be really exciting for people to follow. And so we'll see. I feel very lucky because I know it's obviously a show about me and whatever, but I'm very lucky to have such a wonderful ensemble, if you will. My family and my friends are so amazing. And without them, I don't think that this show would be successful or as successful as it has been. And my mother, God rest her soul, she was the star of this entire thing. And I used to think to myself, like, if everything I've gone through in life, that even led me to getting this show, and if all my heartbreaks and my traumas were just so that the world could have Babs Thore, it was worth it, So I feel very proud of the series and what we've done and how we've impacted people. And I feel so happy that I'm able to share the love that I have in my real life with people all over the world.